Hey guys, what's up and welcome to yet another video on my YouTube channel. Today we will be kind of theory crafting 101, I'd call it, about the new Ekko Legend which just got announced in the Riftbound State of the Game release. Yeah, so we will just go and speculate a bit on the legend, how the deck will maybe play out, what units we will play, which gear, which spells, and how this all will work. I hope you enjoy, and we will look right through it. First, we have the Ekko Legend himself, and we will look at him before we will look at different interactions this legend has. The Ekko Legend reads following: Empower for 1 energy and tapping. Use only if not empowered. And then disempower me with a tap, so you have to do it in the second round. You can't empower him and disempower him in 1 round. You have to do it over 2 rounds. Reduce the cost of the next unit you play this turn by 2 energy and a power and give it kill me at the end of turn. This is a really interesting legend ability because this allows for a lot of different plays and a lot of early strong plays, because 2 energy and a power reduction is really big. That's a lot of potential. We will look into that right after. 1 energy as a cost and tapping him to empower, and on the next round we can disempower him and reduce the cost of the next unit by 2 energy and a power. This seems really good. I mean, yeah, there's this downside of kill me at the end of turn, but we will look into that later on, how it will work out and how we can maybe even cleanse this effect. We don't know the ruling yet, we don't know how this will play out, we don't know which champs, which units, which gear, spells, etc. will come in the Riftbound Radiance set. This is still in the future, it will release somewhere in October, I think, so we've still got time there, but I'm so excited for the Ekko Legend, you can't even imagine. I'm so hyped since I started playing Riftbound and I found out that there will be an Ekko Legend. I'm so pumped about it. Okay, so let's look at the current Ekko champ, which funnily enough is called Ekko Recurrent, that already exists in the game. He says you can accelerate him for 1 energy and a blue rune power, and he has the Deathknell recycle me to ready your runes. You can already tell that this has a really good interaction with the Ekko Legend ability, right? So you disempower the Ekko Legend and tap him. In order to have a cheaper Ekko, I'd probably guess that you can even have the acceleration part cheaper. So in this specific scenario, Ekko will be 6 energy and 2 blue power. With the reduction of the legend though, he will only be at 4 energy and 1 power cost, which is really cheap, and then you can play him accelerated. He has the kill me at end of turn text on him, which is kind of weird to me because it doesn't say give a temporary, because you'd probably be able to play around that, for example, with the blue LeBlanc. The blue LeBlanc just states that if she's on a battlefield, temporary doesn't trigger, so that's probably why they reworded it. But still, if we look at the Ekko champion unit here, we want him to die. So we just send him out accelerated, we let him conquer, and then we leave him to die and recycle him with the Deathknell in order to ready our runes again. And the funny thing is, he dies at the end of turn, right? So we re-ready our runes in our opponent's turn. So while our opponent has his turn, we can play actions and reactions. For example, Falling Comet or Void Seeker. I just chose random examples. There's a lot more in the Fury and Mind domains, which we have access to with the Ekko Legend. But for example, if we ready our runes again and can just play the Falling Comet at action speed, dealing 6 to a unit at a battlefield, we can just completely erase the conquering or potential conquering of our enemy, or even contesting a battlefield we might already control or try to hold. Or the Void Seeker, which deals 4 to a unit at a battlefield and we get a draw of it. So this interaction specifically already seems quite good. And let's just stay at the Deathknells for a second here. If we go further with that, we can look at the Ruined Rex. The Ruined Rex states that he deals 4 to an enemy unit as his Deathknell. Fellow LeBlanc players like me should probably know him already. This could also be quite interesting, right? So you get the reduction for the cost and give him kill me at the end of turn. The only problem with him specifically, for example, is that he isn't accelerated, right? So if we want to play him with the reduced cost of the Ekko Legend, he will just die at the end of our turn without conquering. I'd say, after doing some research and theory crafting a little bit over the course of this day, when we got the preview of Ekko's ability, there's potential. There's definitely a lot of potential playing around the Deathknells, and Ekko kind of seems like a combination of Kaiser. The domains are matching, so it's Fury Mind, just as Kaiser, and you have a legend ability that can give you stuff cheaper. It just reduces your costs. With a little twist, obviously, with this whole kill me at the end of turn thing, and reducing the price of units instead of the spells in Kaiser's case. And Kaiser's also reaction speed. So it still changes things up quite a bit, but rather a combination of Kaiser on the one hand and on the other LeBlanc, which plays around the Deathknells a lot. And I personally think that this Ekko will also do that. So the only problem here is that we don't have access to spells such as Cull the Weak and Hidden Blade or Sacrifice. Sacrifice would be batshit broken if we had access to that, but who knows, maybe Radiance will bring us our own Sacrifice in the Fury or Mind domain, then this will just go through the roof and will be beyond broken. I personally think that already the Ekko Champ unit, Ekko Recurrent, in combination with the Ekko Legend here, seems really busted, but we'll see. It's just a little speculation, just speculating on everything, because we don't know anything yet. Let's move on. Still staying at the Deathknells though, the obvious choice will be Zero Drive, right? This will be your gear of choice, which you definitely have a playset of in your Ekko deck. It has to be. It just has to be. It sounds way too good. This is just handcrafted for him, obviously. It's Ekko's Zero Drive, lore accurate. If you look at the Zero Drive, it says equip for 1 energy and 1 blue power. And when a unit carries the Zero Drive, it has the Deathknell Banish Me, which at first glance sounds quite stupid, but reading more of the card tells us for 3 energy and a blue rune, you can banish the Zero Drive and then play all units that were banished with this, ignoring their costs. So you can just always pull out your Zero Drive, attach it to a unit, accelerate it in, send it in to die. If it dies, it gets banished, And at some point, if the enemy doesn't have gear removal, which we don't know how the meta will be then, but for now, looking at all the Azirs, there is a lot of gear hate around. So we will see, but for now, just ignoring that, ignoring the meta or anything, this sounds really, really fun and really good. But considering these prices of 1 energy and the mind power cost, I personally think that you'd run Seal of Insights. I don't know if it's 3 Seal of Insight, because you still need a lot of other cards in your deck, and I mean, you're still limited with your 39 cards in the deck, obviously, so I don't know if 3 seals would be the deal, to seal the deal, but yeah. As I said, yet again, always just a speculation. Moving on from the Deathknells, as I already said, there are options to cleanse the Ekko Effect, at least in my personal opinion, in my humble opinion of a casual Riftbound player who just happens to love his Ekko and just so hyped about the legend. These are my choices I found out could cleanse this effect. We don't know how the ruling will be, but let's go through them just real quick. First, the Portal Rescue. In action speed, banish a friendly unit, then play it to base, ignoring its cost. Through the banishing part and then playing it back to base, this should reset the text "kill me at end of turn" that Ekko gave to the unit, because after banishing, every unit is reset to its standard form, to its standard card text, so this should remove it. It's 3 and a power, and at action speed, this could be good. I don't know if it would be a playset of it, but could be. Second, the Temporal Breach, just newly added through Vendetta. We will take a closer look on that in the next slide, but for now, this says banish a unit, then its owner plays it to the same location, ignoring its cost. It's a hidden, and we should be able to react to the kill me at end of turn of Ekko. So when your turn ends and it would die, you can probably Temporal Breach it and react with Temporal Breach to this death and banish it and play it to the same location, ignoring its cost. So it just costs 1 power, which is really good to just cleanse this effect and not let it die, because you then had a reduced price of 2 and a power and just paid a power to save it, so it's still a reduction of 2 energy, and considering you paid 1 rune in the round before to empower the Ekko in order to play this whole shenanigans, you're still 1 energy up in the calculation, so should be good. Then retreat at reaction speed, so probably the best choice of those, and no power cost, only 1 energy. Return a friendly unit to its owner's hand. Its owner channels 1 rune exhausted. This sounds insane, honestly. This has to be a playset of in the deck, because you return your unit to the hand, so you're saving it for 1 energy at reaction speed, and you channel 1 rune exhausted, so you're even gaining more runes. This is insane. In this specific combination, retreat has to be insanely good for this. It has to be. And at last, mesmerize. This is kind of a situational pick, could maybe end up in a side deck, who knows. Its reaction speed costs 1 energy and a power. Choose 1, return a friendly unit to its owner's hand, or give an enemy unit -2 might this turn. So you either use it in order to save your unit from dying from the Ekko trigger, or just dying in general and the other option is to give an enemy unit -2 might this turn. This could be good to have in hand and use for either cases. As I just said, there's this interesting interaction going on in the Vendetta meta that just started right now. We don't yet know how it will turn out in pro play. I've got my first Nexus night coming up tomorrow, so I'll see if there's a few people playing this combination. Me personally, I do. I'm normally a LeBlanc player, but I started to play a Kaiser deck now after I found out that Ekko will be Fury and Mind, so I decided to go for the Kaiser, and as it turns out, Kaiser doesn't seem that different from Ekko. So the interaction I just wanted to talk about is the Rockfall Path and Temporal Breach interaction. Lots of you should probably know this already if you're keeping up to date with the meta. You're playing the battlefield Rockfall Path that states units can't be played here, and hide a Temporal Breach on it. So when an enemy attacks, you just Temporal Breach his unit and you banish it, because Rockfall Path states units can't be played here. You can move them there from another battlefield with ganking or from the base, but you can't move it from the banishment, because that states it gets played. So this doesn't work, and you just completely banish the enemy unit, which is great. Deathknells are one thing. The other thing Ekko really needs, or will probably need, is acceleration. So playing accelerated units, and for that we have specific combinations that will be really great. The Sun Disk just itself as a gear sounds really fucking good, because the Sun Disk says you tap it and the next unit you play this turn enters ready. So you can play whatever you want. For example, the Ruined Rex we talked about earlier. You can play the Ruined Rex ready, then use the Ekko ability in order to have it cheaper when playing it, and you go in, you conquer, you let it die, have 4 damage you can use to shoot a unit in the enemy base, for example, or on another battlefield, and clear that and stop them from holding or whatever. This has a lot of potential. Or, in this specific case I'm showing here, the Accelerated Vayne. I thought this might see play and sounds really, really good. So you're using the Sun Disk in order for Vayne to come in ready. You're using, obviously, the Ekko Legend ability to have her be reduced by 2 energy and 1 power, so she only costs 2. It's 2 for 2, which is alright, but there's so much more to this. She then has Assault 3, so you can rush her in. She has 5 might to fight with, and then when you conquer, you may pay 1 to return her to the owner's hand. You just pay 1 energy and she's back on your hand. You can do this again and again. And if an opponent controls a battlefield, she enters ready without the Sun Disk. So even better. The Sun Disk is just an additional gimmick, which can be really helpful. But Vayne sounds like a really good unit for the Ekko deck as well. You just use her to send her in ready. You give her the Ekko debuff, which doesn't matter because you just pay 1 energy and get her back. It's that easy. Sounds really good. Another combination we obviously have access to through the Mind Domain is the Watcher and Bellows Breath combination. This should be quite a famous combination. You use the Watcher, accelerated or non-accelerated, to reduce the enemy's might by -3 on every unit to a minimum of 1, and then you use the Bellows Breath and just rip them apart. So for example, the enemy has 3 different units with 4 might in his base, so you play your Watcher, they all get -3 might. They're all on 1 might, and then you just Bellows Breath, deal 1 to up to 3 units at the same location, and just kill them. Or even with 5 might, it works as well. Let's say you're playing against a Diana who has Hueys in her base, and you just play a repeated Bellows Breath. And with the Ekko, you can also accelerate the Watcher for even cheaper. The accelerated Watcher will then just be 6 energy and 1 power cost. Really good. That's an insane combination, by the way. And then you can rush him in and probably just retreat him or something like that. So you just keep your Watcher, you conquered, and you killed his whole backline with Bellows Breath. And you're just creating so much tempo for yourself, and you're reducing the enemy's tempo by a lot. And this is all possible within a few rounds. Another card combination which we'll probably see play in Ekko will be the Time Warp. I mean, for once, obviously, because it's an Ekko themed card, and I personally love the artwork and I love the thought behind Time Warp. It's just so cool. I hit a Time Warp in my Origins Chinese display I opened, and I love it. I love the card, I love how it plays. The artwork is amazing. I'm a big Ekko fan, if you couldn't already tell by now. And that's why I also really enjoy playing Kai'Sa right now. And I think the Time Warp will be your win condition in Ekko, or one of your win conditions. One win condition is obviously the zero drive, where you just keep on banishing your units until you banish the zero drive and gain all those units back. That's one scenario. And the other are Time Warps. I don't think you'd ever play 3 Time Warps, but 2 Time Warps seems fairly reasonable. And you can just use this in order to, afterwards, in your next turn you're taking, just accelerate something in. It's even cheaper through the Ekko, and you double accelerate 2 units. 1 is cheaper through the Ekko, and you just go for a double conquer on 6 and go up to 8 points without the enemy being able to do anything. I mean, you even have access to Brynhir, for example. For those of you who don't know what Brynhir does, she just says that the enemy can't play spells this turn, which is just amazing. So you can't even be stopped by them if they don't control the battlefields and have some other unit ability that triggers. They can't use spells, they can't counter you in any way. And with the Temporal Breach, for example, you gain the play effect again. So if the enemy in his turn decides to attack you, you then react with the Temporal Breach on your Brynhir and play it out again, gain the play effect in his or her turn again, and they can't counter it. They can't do anything. You just play an action, you play a reaction, whatever, and they are not able to do anything. That's good for all those Calm decks using Defy, for example. They can't play Defy. And in combination with maybe the Ekko Chosen Champ, if it isn't banned until then, we will see what Infinite Lux is doing in this set. You just gain all your runes back on the opponent's turn, so you can spam out your actions and reactions, probably a Hextech Ray or a Falling Comet, all those different things, or just a Stupefy to draw. I mean, Stupefy is probably the most obvious spell choice. Maybe even an Eclipse, just because it's reaction speed, it reduces 4 might, and it also gets you to predict, so Eclipse could be really good as well. But yeah, we're drifting away from the topic. I've got one last slide I'd like to share with you guys. This is my cheap time warp theory. My cheap time warp theory just states that when using the Sun Disk and Ekko's Legend, you're able to play the Raging Firebrand for 4 energy only, 2 reduced and a power reduced, in order to then play a Time Warp in the same turn. Because Raging Firebrand states that when you play him, the next spell this turn costs 5 less. This sounds quite good as well. Maybe it's just delusional because I'm hoping to see Raging Firebrand see play at some point, because I personally like the ability of having a spell cost being reduced by 5, which has to be good with Time Warp. I need to see this working, because only paying 5 energy and 4 recycled runes, so 4 power cost, sounds too good to be true. This sounds so good. This should be an amazing finisher for the game. So this is my whole theory crafting session about the Ekko Legend. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched until now, you're a real one. I thank you very much, and subscribe for more content about the Ekko Legend. I will definitely keep on posting more videos about this specific legend, because I will be definitely running this guy, and I will try my best to build a good Ekko deck as soon as we know a little more. Maybe there will be more reveals. Maybe we will have some kind of card releases like we had in Vendetta. If someone's watching that knows someone that knows someone, I am not stating that, but I'd really love to reveal an Ekko card. This would be my complete dream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to my yap here. That's about it. See ya, guys.